Welcome to Season 2 of Explore the Outdoors on HBC TV 25. I'm your host, Alyssa Kozak, and in this episode, we head to downtown La Crosse where we stopped in at the Great Escape in the Driftless Axe. Let's do this. Coming up with the Great Escape itself, what was the process of that?
Well, Becky and I went to Milwaukee and went to an escape room. I walked out, looked at her, and said, I want to do that. To which I will never forget her response, we just did. We've known each other, a couple decades, and so she's a little used to my eccentricities, and I said, no, I want to do that. I can bring that to La Crosse and make it better. He went, oh goodness. Okay. I was in marketing for years. I wore a suit and tie every day, and I'm not a suit and tie person deep in my soul. And I went, my God, I'm going to get out of my suit and tie. Let's do this. And let's see, that would have been the end of December. By the end of January, I had signed a lease, put my notice in. Mid-February, I started building. So within a month and a half, I said, that's it, this career is over, no more suit and tie. My suits and ties are still packed away in boxes. I keep one just in case. Otherwise, I'm happy to say I get to wear this to be professional all day long, every day. And don't have to worry about suit and ties anymore. And then it just, I don't know, just started building. Started daydreaming, so to speak, on what am I trying to accomplish? What is the game? What do I want customers to do? What are my favorite things? I had a competitor ask me once, how do you choose what themes? And I don't want to sound pompous by any means, but well, if I think it's cool, I mean, won't everybody else? And so far, yeah, it's kind of awesome. If I wake up and go, oh, this is going to be an amazing idea. Yeah, it tends to be kind of a pretty cool hit. Currently, we have 5 rooms. We rotate one at a time in and out. There's really no rhyme or reason, so to speak. It's kind of what, I hate saying when I get bored with it, or have a new idea that fits the space, the concept. Conceptually, it'll make sense in that space. Everything goes away. So all of this will someday vanish, and it goes down to the bare bones studs, and then it's all rebuilt. My brother's father-in-law actually played this room, and afterwards he said, well, what happens when you're done? And I said, well, it all goes away, and all the walls come down, everything. And went, wait, all of it? But that's like ripping down a house and building a whole new house. Yeah, it's a whole new idea. Trying to reuse, okay, well, this is going to be cool in another theme. Well, that's not what the theme is. So it's all new. Every room is completely different. Ideas, puzzles, thoughts, processes, game flow, none of them are similar. To date, I think I'm on my 15th or 16th room, somewhere in there. Yeah.
So how long does it take when you decide to remodel a room? What is the process? How long does it take? And how do you get it back up and going?
Well, the demo is the fun part. That's hammers, about a day. All of this. I mean, it's myself, and if my staff wants to come in and just destroy stuff, and let's face it, destroying things is kind of fun.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll literally have crowbars and hammers and sledgehammers, and we try to save as much as we can. I mean, a lot of the base wood or like pipes and stuff, I've got a sub-basement that it all gets shoved back into a corner, and maybe someday we'll need a pipe again. But for the most part, things that aren't salvageable, yeah, they get broke down and off they go.
So do you close down then for that day?
My Mondays, Tuesdays were closed. So that they tend to be very, very long days between Sunday night closing and Wednesday morning opening. There's a lot of hours in there that you can be building and demoing and the whole works. Otherwise, when they're closed down, we don't have customers coming and going in that room. And my staff is fantastic. I mean, they are the lifeblood of my business and really any business. And I've been extremely lucky and fortunate to be able to hire and have the people I have working here. They're great. So I can trust them to kind of keep the show going on the front end as I'm on the back end rebuilding stuff. So there's a lot of, while games are going on, I'm in a room that nobody even knows. Every so often they'll hear a hammer being swung and what was that? Oh, there's a new room being built.
Tell us where we are right now.
Well, currently we're in Espionage, a Candy Conspiracy. My version of Willy Wonka meets Doctor Who meets James Bond. Well, this is part of the recipe process where they have to mix stuff together. So this is a little bit of engineering and physics. They try to, and ultimately moving things up and around, and it is so loud and obnoxiously awesome as the time is ticking down and they're cranking as fast as they can to get this up there and move it along. It's just this part of making the ingredients. They need to mix the ingredients and move them through the process. This idea actually came from a picture online of a little bitty kit that you can buy for a STEM project for students.
So what is the max number that you can have here and what is the minimum?
I guess one of the things we take a lot of pride in is trying to appropriately size how many people for a minimum and maximum. Again, my number, I have 3 basic rules: treat people right, build cool stuff, forget about the money. And unfortunately, I think a lot of, again, I don't want to beat up on escape rooms, but they're trying to shove too many people into a game. Spatially, it may be all right, but with group dynamics, the moment you go over 8 people, you have relatively complete communication breakdown. And you have to communicate in these. If you put in, and we've tested time and time again, we've been begged by customers, well, can we bring 11? No, we'll put you in 2 different rooms, you'll have a better time. In fact, I responded to someone earlier today and said, well, we've got more than 8, do 2 rooms. You will thank me. And I've done that from everywhere from 9-person groups to 35. Split them up, everybody walks away going, oh, that was cool. But that comes down to group dynamics and being able to communicate well. So our smallest room is a 2 to 4-person room, up to our largest is a 4 to 8-person room. And that really comes down to how the game flow is set up, in addition to space in general.
What would you say the age range is, like for somebody to come in here to experience what you have to offer here in La Crosse?
It's a lot different than I thought it was going to be. I'll say that. I came out of marketing, and to me, knowing what the core demographic was so important, and I've been proven wrong day after day after day, because it ranges anywhere from, on a daily basis, about 9 or 10 years old, up into 80s and above. It's one of the coolest, neatest things that we can have, and I hear a lot of families say that, like, this is amazing. We've never done something that my teenage grandson and I actually both enjoyed. That's pretty cool. There's not a lot out there that can really be cross-generational,
Right.
and this is. It's really neat to be able to see a mom, a dad, a grandma, grandpa look at their 11, 12-year-old solve something and go, how did you, oh my goodness, you're smart. How didn't I do that? what? Wait, what's wrong with me? How did this 11-year-old know this and I didn't? So it's pretty cool to be able to see that happen across all different spectrums, all sexes, all ages, and they all walk out going, okay, this was cool. I think one of my favorite groups of all times was 3 ladies. They were mid-70s, and one of which just had 2 brand new knees put in. And there was a point in the game where they had to crawl through a fairly small area. It was a fireplace. And before the game, I had pulled her aside and said, there's one thing towards the end of the game that you're going to kind of have to get down, and I'm worried about your knees. She said, well, thank you. No, that's fine. Just let me know. And the game's running, and it came right up just about that point. The fireplace opened. Before I could blink, her 2 friends were through the fireplace, had yelled through, Carol, get on your back, and pulled her through the fireplace. And I realized that's dedication to winning. Oh my goodness, anybody can do this. I stopped feeling bad for people that would ever have any qualms with much of anything.
So what happens when somebody does win?
When they win, you get pictures and signs and all that wonderful thing and stuff that most public's pretty familiar with. They get a little magic puzzle, which no, you don't get if you lose. Sorry, you lost. And quite frankly, above and beyond that stuff, the pride, the effort you put in as the player, the pride you walk away with is well earned, and you earned it. This isn't plug in a quarter and I deserve it because I paid for it. No, you deserve it because you earned it, and that's pretty darn cool. And myself, I'm an escape room enthusiast. Not only do I build and own and all of that stuff, but I love playing, and I've lost a lot of games. Probably more than I've ever won. But no, it's pretty neat when you walk out and go, hey, me and my team, we pulled this off. We're kind of geniuses. More than anything that people are concerned with is the fear of the unknown. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know what it is. I might be claustrophobic, and I can't tell. This is an open ceiling. There are no ghouls nor goblins or anything coming out to
no gremlins
eat
or
you.
anything.
Right. And the good and the bad of escape rooms is we've come a long way in the U.S. where people at least understand what escape rooms are mostly, but there's still this connotation, well, it must be like some horror movie. There are some games out there that have a horror theme, but not here. I don't really do a whole lot of horror themed things. The awe and the coolness doesn't have to be necessarily scary. So it's really for anybody willing to give it their go, and what's it going to take to win? Get that little bit of competitiveness in all of us. Well, hours are Tuesday through Sunday. We open at noon. On Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday, we close at 8, and then Friday, Saturdays at 10. To book a room, you can either go to our website, escapelacrosse.com, or call us at 608-571-ROOM.
And prices?
Very simple, 25 for non-students, 20 for students. And to preemptively answer what is a student, if you're in school, grade school to grad school, you're a student. I've got a soft spot for you, and you deserve a break.
So once you're done here at the Great Escape, you can go over to Toby's other location, the Driftless Axe, and get a bite to eat and throw some axes.
If you don't know what Property Brothers buying and selling is, where have you been all your life? I handle house hunts. Jonathan handles design. No!
It's all good. We're gonna fix it, but it's messed up. It's all good.
Oh! It takes 2 to tango. Come on in. This is your house.
All new Property Brothers buying and selling. Wednesday night at 9 on HGTV.
WNB has been partnering with HBC for over 20 years. Having fast, reliable internet and phone service is a critical piece in our ability to provide exceptional service. Partnering with HBC gives me the peace of mind knowing that our services are always available to our clients when they need it. I would absolutely recommend HBC. As our business has been growing and changing, we know that we can rely on HBC to meet our changing technology needs.
Call today to get started with HBC's family of services. Friday nights, the road to riches can be bumpy.
We have a lot of work to do.
We have some leaky roof syndrome.
The Texas Flip and Move teams buy houses for pennies on the dollar.
Yes!
Sold it, $700.
Move them and flip them.
Coming through.
All these walls are going.
See how these homes are hauling in the profits.
Awesome. This is a really amazing place.
It's my dream home.
All new Texas Flip and Move. Friday night at 9 on DIY Network.
Hi, I'm Melanie Messman, Advertising Account Executive at HBC. HBC offers local businesses the ability to place their advertising message into top-rated TV series, sports, and news programming, allowing your business to target viewers in 30 communities. With a locally produced TV commercial, we can show the audience what your business has to offer. Together, we can create an advertising message that brings new customers into your business. Call me to discuss how we can get your business on TV today.
Be sure to check out US Golf TV, where you are going to see golf products that you have never seen before. You're also going to see golf tips from some of the leading instructors around the country that are truly changing the way people are teaching the game and challenging the status quo. Also, you're going to see fitness tips that are revolutionizing the way PGA Tour pros are training their body and swinging the golf club. If you want something different, if you're looking for some new information, US Golf TV has it. Be sure to check your local listings. US Golf TV, we've got you covered.
It's time to head across the street to Toby's other location.
We're at the
Driftless Axe.
corner of 4th and J, downtown La Crosse.
And what is the Driftless Axe?
We're an axe throwing facility that also features food and beverages as well.
Why is this place so special to you guys?
It's the experience. As with everything, we get to create this primal feel of taking an axe and throwing it with all your might into a ginormous target.
There's something
simple.
There's something about that first thunk when it hits the board. It kind of brings out this, hey, maybe I really can do this, and it really is that experience like Toby's talking about.
What is something you guys have heard from first timers when they come to a place like this?
I didn't know it was going to be so easy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are intimidated by it. They think that it's going to be super hard, and now they're back every other week. So it's a good thing. It's a stress reliever. A lot of people, that's the second most thing, was they came in, they were kind of had a hard day, and they realized by the time they left here, there was a smile on their face, and again, they'll be back in 2 weeks.
What made you guys decide to bring a place like this to downtown La Crosse, Wisconsin?
Well, oh boy, where does it even begin? I was a country kid. I was throwing stuff at anything I could find, from knee high to grasshopper, and then years and years later, Clinton came in over at the Great Escape, but we should do it. Have you ever thought of doing a mobile escape room? Yep. Nope. Not here. Can't work. The money, the finances just don't make sense.
Right.
A day later, and we've known each other for years. A day later, you know, step back. You might have this other. That might be another idea.
He said you want to throw some stuff. Just stop down and talk to me. And I've known Toby, like you said, for almost 20 years, so it was a no-brainer. If
throw some stuff. What?
And
yep, we're throwing some stuff.
We built a few trailers and figured out how to do it ourselves. We didn't have a blueprint. We kind of saw there was a few mobile units out across the U.S., but there wasn't a lot of images or anything that we can go off of. And
the first one was a complete disaster.
We built a trailer that couldn't be pulled by even a dually. The thing was so big, it was just a monstrous trailer. And so we got rid of that and scratched it and tried another trailer, and that didn't work. And finally, some good
third trailer in went, this is what we need to do. Oh!
We just needed the trailer to transport the stuff, not to actually put the targets on. So we are able to take out 4 mobile units at this point. We can set up in any location. If we set up inside, we only need about 8-foot tall ceilings and about 15 feet in length for one of the targets to go in. And we can set up anywhere you guys would need us to.
Create an experience. It isn't going, oh, let's go to the bar and just get drunk. Oh, we've been able to create this, the ultimate experience to have this thing to walk away from going, did we really just do that? And be able to do that tomorrow, the next day, a week, a month, a year later.
Yeah.
Hey, remember when?
And the best part is 4th Street down here is just becoming such alive. And it's owned, a lot of these businesses are owned by mom and pop shops like us, you know. We've got great restaurants across the street, and you've got stores to the left, stores to the right, and there's just so much to do down here that a guy could bring.
Crosse is alive.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And 4th Street is really coming to be the spot where you come down, you can go on a date, you can go to 4 or 5 different places, and only park in the parking ramp. You don't have to move around. You don't have to skirt around to the other side of town. You can literally get everything done right up here on the 4th Street.
Tell us about the special menu you have here at the Driftless Axe.
So the menu really comes from trying to have a one-off menu, sort of like our place here. We source a lot of our stuff as locally as we can. Our red sauce that we put on our pizzas is from Bill Peden at T. Joe's, and T. Joe's has been around for 40 some years on the north side of La Crosse. They're sort of a staple, and so I went to Bill and just said, hey, if we feature you, you know, on our menu, I'd love for you to make our sauce. So we get our red sauce from them. The lumberjack dog, which was the big hot dog with nacho cheese and beef brisket, that dog is only specially made for us from the Holman Meat Locker. So it's a 1/4 pound all beef smoked hot dog. And then we cover it with that nacho cheese. We put those pepper spears on there, and then the beef brisket goes on top. So that's one of the big favorites here. Our pizzas, we have the flatbread pizzas, the cauliflower crust, which is a gluten-free, and pretty much it's a build-your-own pizza. So you get to choose 3 toppings outside of the cheese and sauce. And then our world-famous, ginormous, biggest pretzel in downtown La Crosse. It's almost a 2-pound pretzel. It's usually shared by 3 or 4 people. I think only one person ever ate a whole pretzel, and he woke up really sick the next day.
I will most definitely say do not ever try to eat
It's not a pretzel for one. No matter how it looks.
It's good.
It is
just no better.
Literally 2 pounds of bread with nacho cheese. We cover it with butter, a little bit of sea salt, and then completely cover it in Parmesan cheese. So it is just a delicious pretzel like no other. There's nobody in town that we know has anything, even in the surrounding area, that has a pretzel this big. So as of right now, we can be claimed to fame to the largest pretzel in downtown La Crosse. I'm so giddy about that pretzel. We sell out of them. We go through cases on a Friday and Saturday night in here. It is insane. They fly out the door. And like I said there. So the Millhouse chips are sort of
It was almost an accidental, awesome.
It was an accident is really how it started. And one of our employees was hungry, and he had cheese and some peppers on there, and I just was like, no.
Make this awesome.
Yeah, and so then we just kind of restructured it, and we realized that crisping some beef brisket and throwing it on there with some sweet peppers and green onions and nacho cheese and cheddar cheese and more cheese, because cheese is good.
The beautiful thing about that darn thing is little did we know that what we were creating was a gluten-free, awesome meal.
Which makes it a whole lot better to a lot of people that live that gluten-free lifestyle. So we really try to accommodate to a lot of different people with our food menu here. And besides that, we've got a few other hot dogs and Polish dogs. Those are all made from, again, the Holman Meat Locker. So that stuff can be, that's their regular stuff. The Locker dog, and then the Polish is the other one that they have there. And it's just a good quality local company that we like to use.
It's kind of that big thing here is not just with the food, all of our lumber. I know we had talked, really, I've been here 23, 24 years. I absolutely love the Driftless region, and a lot of what we do here is kind of our giving back to the ode of what it is. The Driftless Axe in general is the Driftless region, and as much as we can source locally as much as we can kind of give back to what this area has given us. It's been great to us.
And the biggest thing is we can almost tell you where every single piece came from in this building because it was that locally sourced. Yeah. So like the bar top, the wood underneath came from the Wiggert's building across the street, which is a 100-year-old building that they're remodeling, and they were going to get rid of it. It was the ceiling in there, so we repurposed it onto the walls and stuff here. And as you enter our facility, there's a large chandelier that hangs up on the ceiling, and that is a 150-year-old chandelier that was going to be thrown away. When we acquired this space, it was on the ground, and the electrician's like, oh, they're going to throw it away. And he and I looked at each other and said, no, you're not.
That's kind of awesome.
Nope. And so he painstakingly rewired the whole thing. And then the electrician came in and helped us hang it up there. And it is just, it's an amazing thing. All of our wood comes out of Stevenstown from a 65-year-old man. He cuts the wood, mills it down, rough cuts it, and then we bring it here and we chop all of it down ourselves. So all the lumber that you see on the targets is all locally sourced. And the best part is we totally reuse all this stuff. So after it gets all beat up on those boards, we take it down, we load it in the truck, we take it out to his house.
That's what heats my house.
So we really recycle everything we can in here and try and source as local as we can. Pearl Street Brewery has been a huge, huge supporter of us, and we carry a lot of them. They're the local brewery here in town, and as well as the La Crosse Distillery. That's our newest venture kind of here in town that they've taken off super big. They've got a distillery with gin and vodka and high rye whiskey, and so we really try and feature and show people places they can go when they leave here and try and keep them in the drift.
What is the age range to throw an axe?
Ooh, I like this question. I like this question. This one gets me going. So, legally, before 8 o'clock, anyone 12 years or older can come in and participate. Now,
with parental signed waivers.
Here's the best part. I can now say, as of last week, you can be 86 years old and come in here and throw a hatchet. We had a gentleman in here last week who was 86 years old, and he threw his 3 hatchets and he sat down, and 45 minutes later he stood back up and threw another 3 hatchets and left here the happiest man in the world. And that made my day. So I will say 86. It was 83 before that. There was an 83-year-old woman in here right after we opened.
She was my favorite.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that woman.
So
she was good.
12
years old.
12 years to whatever.
Yeah.
To whatever age you are. There's no age limit here going up. And I absolutely love it.
83-year-old woman was so happy that she was beating her husband.
Yeah. Grandparents are so fun to play with. It is just a great time.
What are the hours here?
Mondays and Tuesdays we are closed. Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays we're open noon to 10. And on Friday and Saturdays we're open from noon to midnight. And I think the most important part is
for now. Well, when the arcade bar opens, the arcade bar will be open till bar time on those weekend nights. But that'll be about the difference.
But the hours for the axe throwing facility will still remain the same, and so we'll still be shutting down at midnight. And the biggest thing is we have the reservations. And it's super, super important on Friday and Saturdays to make reservations. You can't get in here on a Friday or Saturday without reservations. And it's starting to become that way on Thursdays and Sundays as well, too. So reservations are a key thing, and you can do that right online from our website.
Thank you for joining me on this season premiere of Explore the Outdoors on HBC TV 25. If you have any suggestions on local places we should explore, please let us know through HBC TV 25 on Facebook and Twitter. Until next time, I'm Melissa Kozak.